Yo guys, it's Up Shadow here and welcome to another little special video of Space Engineers, and you know what it's about. It's about the new update, the Broadside update, Warfare 2. It has been released. I've been playing with the update for the weekend now, and today I'm just gonna do a little review. I mean, maybe that's a bit too much to say, but you know, a little retrospective on it, a little talking about all the blocks that are in it. And for the purpose of this video, as I always do with the update slash DLC that comes out, we're gonna separate the update and the DLC into two separate parts. So this first part is gonna be about the update only, and then the next part is gonna be about the DLC later on in the video. So let's start. I'm just gonna have to bring the list up here. We're not gonna talk about all of the things because there has been a lot of things, especially when it comes to combat mechanics. It's kind of hard to also demonstrate this in single player sometimes. So yeah, let's just go on and see what we can do. Okay, so let's just talk about a few things that are a bit hard to show. I'm trying to. Let me just try to show this real quick if that's possible. Let me slap a generator on here and then hop in here and into a turret. Yes, so one of the big new things, if you ever played the mod, the weapon core mod, it should be kind of familiar to you. There is targeting now in the game. As you can see, actually, it wasn't even necessary to put this block here, because it also works with my target blocks that I've set up back there. It now shows you, if you are especially in turret mode, but also if you're just in flying mode, the closest thing to the middle of your screen, aka also your cursor. It shows up a little lock-on target reticle, and if there's enemy targets, you can lock onto them. Your guns automatically can lock onto things. There's now, with all your turrets, there is a targeting options, what they should target first. So lots of new combat stuff. That's mainly gonna be, at least for me, that's mainly gonna be multiplayer stuff, because in my normal playthroughs I normally do not go into space to space or vehicle to vehicle combat with enemies. Maybe I will in the future now with these changes, but yeah, it's nice. Also in combination with that new system, that whole new targeting system, we've also now got a change to the decoy blocks and how these work. But yeah, that's the whole combat system. I'm not going to talk too much about that because, again, for me in my runs, that's not going to be that relevant, and it's also a bit hard to, you know, reliably demonstrated right here. But yeah, I'm also more focused on the blocks. So let's get to these new blocks that have been introduced in the free update, and we'll start with, well, that's a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's break it down real quick. Let's go to the main star of the show here. That's right, this bad boy right here, which they are calling the railgun. Let me actually just go there. There you can see the singular block. It's beautiful. It also comes with, you can see there's a connection port to the side. There's one. The one on the lower side, that is, to my knowledge, not a conveyor port. I personally would have put a conveyor port there, because that's, in my logic, how you would mount that weapon. But hey, there you go. So generally with this new update, also now you can see in the description, you can see the max range of the weapon systems. And this one, the railgun, if you have it large grid, it comes with 2,000 meters, aka 2 kilometer range, which is about these targets back there. You can see them back there. That's about 2 kilometers. So that's the range of this weapon. That's a pretty beast. It takes a lot of energy to charge up, by the way. It takes a lot of freaking power. Under here I have I'm not quite sure how many reactors I've put in here. I've put a bunch in here. I think there's even more, like one more on the ground. So it does take a lot of power to actually charge this baby up. But yeah, that is pretty cool. And then this is just the fixed weapon version. There's actually another turret version on this as far as I've seen. And then there's the small turret one, or the small grid one, which it looks the same pretty much. And it has a range of 1.4 kilometers, which is also pretty good. That's the longest ranged weapons we've got so far. Then right next to it, over here, we have what they call the artillery cannon, which is the same thing. This uses conventional ammo and also has a range of 2 kilometers if you run it on large block. This one you cannot run on small block, however. But yeah, and I'm gonna demonstrate these in a second here. And then next to it we have the finished turret versions. There's 2 large grid new turrets. There's the artillery turret, which is this gun's turret version. And there is the what they call the assault cannon turret. So the artillery one has again a range of 2 kilometers. It only comes in large grid. And the assault cannon, which is this, comes in 1.4 kilometer range and comes in large and small grid. Right. And then here we have a few more of the small grid stuff set up. This is a, let me see, this is an autocannon turret with 800 meters range, and its fixed variant on top here, which is the same thing essentially. And here this is the assault cannon small turret and the assault cannon fixed with a range of 1.4 kilometers. So, all of that. And one of the most important blocks that came with this update, you have already seen it here, this bad boy, which is the turret control, which makes building custom turrets a piece of cake. Really, it is so freaking easy now. So we can actually just do it right now. It's so freaking easy. Let me just get all the blocks you need to build a turret. It's basically the turret control, this new block, then a rotor, and I like to take a hinge for elevation, but you can technically also take a rotor. Doesn't really matter. And what I also like to have is a camera, of course. There we go. So that's technically all we need. Let's also take a weapon here. Let's take a Gatling gun. So the way this works is, let's make it large grid. Let's place down our rotor, our hinge on top, and then we'll do a very easy thing. We'll just put a, oh, the Gatling doesn't go on this, I forgot. Let's take an artillery thing. Let's stick an artillery turret on here, and then let's stick a camera on here. Not very pretty, but it will work. Now the new block, this artillery, this custom turret controller, stick it on the turret. There. And now, we have to do, before we had to do a lot of things with scripting. I used, I think it was called MART's Smart Turrets Control Script, which required you to basically go to the rotor, name it a certain thing, the hinge, name it a certain thing, and then group everything in a certain group that has a certain name. It worked, but it was kind of awkward. Now, the only thing is that you have to do, go to this custom turret controller, scroll down, and now here, you can assign the azimuth rotor. This is the one that turns your gun from side to side, so left to right. It kind of helps if you name your rotors and hinges, especially if you use several rotors. For us, it's this here, the rotor. Then the elevation rotor, which is our hinge. And then the camera, which is just a camera. Now, there's a few more stuff down here. You can multiply or reduce the velocity that the rotors and hinges move at. It's kind of nice. And then the last thing you have to do is here. You can select which weapons are fired with this custom turret controller. Now, you can have several weapon systems on one turret, and you can then only say this turret controller only fires a certain amount of weapons. So you just grab the weapon you want and add it. It's that easy. You have a few more things. Enable AI, and then there's just all the normal turret stuff down here that you have on normal turrets. You might have also seen the setup action thingy here. You can see that as well. It has the normal stuff for displaying things on its screens. That's pretty easy. So now we just can hop in here, select our custom turret controller, and then go to control. And boom! There we are. And now a mouse click just fires. Now what you will notice here, when I zoom around here, it's very jittery. And actually, if I look over here, you can see it looks super jittery, doesn't it? Now there's an easy way to actually fix this without too much adjustments with the rotors. You just grab the hinge and the rotor, and then you activate shear inertia tension. And now it's smooth. Oh, now, as cool as this is, as awesome as this is, there's a problem. And you might have already kind of guessed it if you're controlling the turret manually. In contrast to when you actually control this turret, there's no crosshairs. And that is a bit of a problem, especially with the new guns, because I haven't mentioned this yet. These new guns, all of these, everything that fires a larger shell, they are now affected by gravity. So as long as you are in gravity, natural gravity that is, not artificial one, that doesn't work. In natural gravity, these things have bullet drop. The best, it's actually displayed with this gun here, but I'll try with this over here. You can see it as well. So I'm aiming quite high at the ridge here. You can actually don't really see the shot, but you'll see the explosion. See, it just landed below my circle there. So there's quite a significant amount of bullet drop with these weapons. So aiming is a lot different on, especially on planets. Now the way to combat this, I felt, with custom built turrets maybe, is to use transparent LCDs and then putting some sort of crosshair on. I've tried different variants. They're not perfect, but they kind of work. So as you can see, I have placed the camera right behind the transparent LCD, and then I just put a bunch of lines and things in. And now let's try and shoot at these things. If I remember correctly, I've set this up so that if I aim like at just above the big circle is for close aiming. Let's try that. Oh, charging up. Boo! Oh no, okay. It's actually up here. Never mind. So this thing has to charge a while now, so let's actually use the other gun. Let's try this one. Let's try it like this. Oh, that is also way higher. I think I have to, yeah. I have to aim probably like this. It's kind of difficult. You have to kind of, maybe you could even put some text next to the crosshairs to tell you which range they are at. That might be smart, but I don't know. Let's try this again. Oh! 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 Did I just broke the stem of the target? I think I did. Let's fire another shell. It takes a while to reload. Yeah, oh! That was a bullseye, I believe. Let's go and check this out. Also, these new weapons, especially the artillery and the railgun, they have quite a bit of bullet print. Yeah, we freaking destroyed it. So this is where we hit. That's pretty good. And this is a soft target, and it blew straight through that. So the blue ones are soft targets. The green ones are actually hard armor. So let's fly back. Let's try and hit one of these heavy armor turrets. Heavy armor targets with, well, both turrets. Let's try that. First is the railgun again. Okay, we'll try and aim at this. So we'll put that right into that V. And... ooh, I think we just shaved the top of one of the targets there. Okay. And now let's... we'll go at this target again. We'll put it in... like here? Ooh, I think that went above. So I'll have to pull it down a bit. Like this, maybe? Ooh, I think we hit the frickin' the stem again, maybe. Let's try again, about here. We just put the red dot into the neck of the V. Oh, that was bullseye. That was perfect bullseye. Let's try the big guy again. Let's aim a little higher. Yeah, it's still not charged. Charging takes a while with this baby. But it is a pretty devastating weapon. Also, yeah, the firing animation is pretty cool. Also, the sound is very satisfying. Let's go check out the damage, shall we? So here we... oh, that was a perfect center hit. The first one wasn't so good, but the second one, that was dialed in quite nice. So that destroyed one layer of heavy armor perfectly, and then it dented the second one. Now let's go over to the big gun. That was not a perfect hit, but it destroyed about two layers, and then it went down in here. So technically it destroyed like 3 heavy armor blocks in one shot. That's pretty devastating. Imagine that going through light armor. That just tears through whatever it finds. So the weapons itself are pretty devastating. Now I'm gonna try and hit one of the targets at the back. That's gonna be really difficult because of the bullet drop. We'll try. So I guess for the targets at the back, I'll have to aim a bit, probably like this. Let's try this. Ooh, that was way too high. It's not as easy. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as it looks. Or maybe it doesn't look easy, actually. It's also quite a difference if you mount the camera below or above the gun, obviously. Let's see where this goes. Oh, just under the V. So, like this, maybe? Let's aim at the blue target there. Of course, the shots can deviate a bit as well. In direction. Oh! That was close. We'll put the V right. I have to put my DPI down a bit so I can aim this a bit more properly. Come on. Was that a hit? I didn't see. Let's try again. Over there. Ooh, I think we just missed to the right, to the left, I believe. But that might just be weapon deviation. That we cannot really do something about that, I don't think. That was a hit. That was a hit just at the top. Okay, let's try with the other gun. Also, something I've realized with these turrets, it's kind of interesting because it's... if you enter in it, you not just enter the control scheme of the turret, but you also enter the camera automatically. So if you press then the T key once to get out of it, you're still in the actual control mode. So you have to press it again to get out of it and select the other turret. Otherwise it will not work. Alright, let's try and hit a blue target with this. Oh, that was a bit low. I think we have to put it in the neck of the V. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty fun. I had a lot of fun playing around with these new turrets and the new guns. They're gorgeous looking. And they're just fun to use, honestly. And the bullet drop is also kind of fun and new to experience. Now, another new thing that has been added is that certain blocks, when they get shot at, they might explode. Or not might, they do explode. Let me demonstrate. So, over here, we have just a empty cargo container. Yes? Alright, so obviously, if you shoot at that, as you might expect, this thing just... Did I hit it even? Oh, I hit my own turret. Good job. Let me get this turret, that's a bit easier. I think I hit it. Come on. Reload. Am I hitting stuff? This is kind of... There we go. Boom. It's destroyed. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. You know what? We're gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Gonna take a rocket launcher. There we go. Boom, it's destroyed. Nothing happened. Nothing. No problem. Now, let's imagine that cargo container is not just any old cargo container, but it is a cargo container where a lot of artillery shells are being stored in, because, you know, you have to store your ammunition somewhere, don't you? So, what happens if one of these containers blow up? What do you reckon? What will happen? Oh! Oh my! Yes! Stuff explodes now! It's awesome! So, this goes with containers that are filled with ammunition, and I think the damage that it does, it kind of depends on how much ammunition that is inside. So, this was filled to the brim. Now, this is another thing that can explode now. Hydrogen tanks, but only if they get destroyed fully. Now, if you shoot at them like once or twice, let's see if I can damage it just enough. I think it can take one more shot. Maybe one more? Yes, okay, now it's burning. And what should happen now, technically, is that, yes, you can see it here. The hydrogen is now slowly leaking out. The block still works, but it's technically leaking out. And if everything is gone, the flames will then turn into smoke, which is kind of cool. But of course, if you keep shooting at it, things will happen. Well, now we can use this gun as well. Boom! Oh, that was a beautiful explosion. Yes, it is devastating. Especially if you have several of these blocks next to each other. If you blow up one, chances are everything is gonna go up. I had it at first when I wanted to demonstrate this. I have everything on one platform, like one hydrogen tank and a few ammo boxes. And I shot one and the whole platform basically got disintegrated. That was pretty fun. So yeah, it's pretty neat. So you have to kind of think about your the placement of your weapons. You have to think about that a bit more, I think. It's pretty neat. Thump. It's so funny to play around with these. But yeah, the update, that was everything really that is in it, the main stuff. I'm super happy with it. The new weapons allow for a bit more nuance in combat. Oh yeah, look, we hit! Oh yeah, look, we blew right through it. And over here as well. Oh, we even hit bullseye! Mate, that's amazing. Yeah, we see it's 1.95 kilometers, so just inside effective range. Well, just inside the range, really. Let's be honest. But yeah, I'm really happy with that update. It is amazing. I'm already designing new ships with the new guns, new weapon systems, and especially the new turret controls. I'm so happy with those. They are amazing. Again, there's a minor gripe with the exiting of the turret systems, in my opinion. It's a bit awkward. Sometimes I don't really realize I'm still in this turret's control and I'm hammering the other one, but it doesn't really do anything because I'm still in this turret's control scheme. But yeah, you know, it's minor things, and I honestly wouldn't quite know how to do it better, to be honest. Maybe it could kind of show you somewhere on the screen that you're now in control like it is with the camera. You know, if you go into this camera, you see railgun camera, static grid. It could still display a little hint that you are in a other grid's control mode, maybe. But yeah, again, that's a minor thing. Okay, so right now, consider this a clear division in this video because this was the update stuff. Now, of course, we're gonna go over and we're gonna talk about the DLC stuff. And as you know, the DLC, I think it's always around the same pricing point. For me, it's 4 Swiss francs, which is nothing, really, considering. So let's see what is in the Broadside. I think they're just calling it the Broadside pack. And for that, we'll go over to our little DLC hut over here, basically. So let's welcome. Of course, this is a one of the industrial buttons. But the first thing we'll see right at the gates, literally, it is a new type of hangar gate block. Let me actually get that for you real quick. Let me clear the stuff out here. Let's go to the Warfare 2 block. That is this one here. We got a hangar door, hangar windowed, and hangar, well, warfare. I always want to call it warframe for some reason. Not sure why. So there's these 3 blocks here. And they just behave like normal hangar doors, normal hangar blocks, basically. You can see the ones there, they have a window inside. I'm just gonna real quick, can I go into let's see, hangar door windowed. Let's put that on this block. Is that the right one? Oh no, that's not the right one. Let's just open this up. So yeah, there's the ones with the windows inside and the ones that don't, basically. Let me just get these. There we go. We have the doors and the door windowed. I'm not quite sure why there's 3 here. Oh, they have a little bit of different design. Yeah, right. That's right. So you can see there's the ones with this one. I think this is hangar door. This is the windowed one. This here. And then there's door 1 and door 2. So you can see on one side they have these weird hinges with the X on. And then the other one has these kind of hinges. So they just look a bit different, I suppose. But yeah, they look nice. I kind of like the ones with the windows inside. Now, not necessarily in the way I've put them down here. Because here it doesn't really serve a big purpose, honestly. Because when I close it, the windows are at the top. But if you imagine putting these down like inverted, as coming down from the top, then the windows would be at your, basically at your head level. I can simulate this like that, which is kind of cool. So maybe I should have put them the other way around. That would have been a bit better. But I like it. It's a cool style. Also, the little yellow line up here makes it look kind of cool as well. But yeah, and as you can see, the big difference between those two, I mean, it's not that evident, honestly. It's really just like different hinges at the bottom. Let me actually put one of these here as well. Open up the gate again, please. Need to get inside. And of course, in here you have seen probably a few other things as well, but we're gonna get to that one by one. Let's close this one as well. There. This one is just a bit smoother than the other one. So this is basically the one I've used on my door, and this one is the smoothed out version. So yeah, take your pick. I like them all from style point of view. They're pretty cool. Now, let's go inside. The first thing you can see here is the new reactors from this pack. There's a small and a big warfare reactor. And the small one is this one right here. You can see it's like a semi-transparent window with like a coil thing inside, a little buttons at the back. Pretty cool. One port here, which is interesting. This one only has, well, it has 2 ports. I kind of wished it would have 3, but then they would differ from the normal reactors in function, which is maybe good that they didn't do that. And let's actually put one of these outside so you can see it a bit more properly. So it follows the trend that the industrial warfare DLC stuff followed with the stairs. You know, there's one stair here, one here, and one here, so you can climb around a bit. Then again, you have that big window up here with the coils and everything. Big pipes running along, cables here. And we have ports, one at the top, one at the quote-unquote back, one at the bottom. So this one technically has less than a normal large reactor. So I don't know what that's worth, but it's kind of cool. All right. What's next? Let's go over here. These blocks here, I've put them in both orientation. This one, technically, you should put this one outside, in theory, because they are so-called heat vents. They look like this. They come in big and small. Oh yeah, the reactors also come in big and small. Kind of cute, the small ones. They look a little bit more like circular, which for certain builds is definitely cool. So yeah, these things here. And what they do is they react to the amount of power that is being used by your ship. Let me actually, I'll introduce this in a second. I have a few thrusters somewhere at the back of this facility. So if I start using them, you can see now I have 20% power draw. They've opened up a bit and there's a color shining through. Now if I start deactivating reactors, you can see it opens up a little bit more each time because more power is drawn. If I deactivate the big reactor, we're going full power, then they're fully opened. You can see. And the thing is, what I really like, you can configure these. So you can say the minimal load should be, let's say, let's go with a dark blue, and the maximum load should be a teal, like this. So now, that's kind of cool. I think that will make certain builds look so much prettier. I wouldn't really put them in facilities, I suppose, more in ships, because there you can, it's more dynamic with the workload the ships use with different directions the thrusters are in, and yeah, I think they will look pretty cool. Also, the fact that you can change the color of it is amazing. And I use this with this new thingamajig, which is called a helm, confusingly, maybe for some. But yeah, that's, you know, there's just like a saying, who is at the helm? He's at the helm, he's in control. And that's what this is. This is a standing control apparatus for small and large grid. They look similar, or really they look the same. It's just a bit of a size difference. And I have a little camera here so you can see how you look like if you are actually controlling this. That's pretty neat, isn't it? And I think, again, for certain designs, or I would rather use these for certain like facilities to operate, you know, where I want to operate a certain, like maybe a drill or something, and I don't want to put like a normal flight seat down, which looks weird, then maybe one of these will do. They only come with 2 panels that you can control and put stuff on, but still quite neat. Little cable running down, little stand. Really cool. This amalgamation over here actually has everything on it that goes on small grid. I will come to that. We also have this, which is a new door. There's actually 2 versions of this door. It's a new sliding door. It is called the sliding hatch door. Let me take this outside real quick. It's a bit cramped. It only comes in large grid. And there's two versions. There's this version here. Well, both versions come with a big side block that is basically where the door disappears into. Let me actually put it down like this. And the other one, where is it? There. This one. So as you can see, this one has like an encased doorway, and this one just a small one with a bit more of an offset look to it. Both of which have a little like tiny window slit here, which I kind of like, and they almost look like a safe door, you know, with a big handle. I do like the look of that. I can see applications of these in like secured facilities, or again, because it's a sliding door, like a hatch thing, maybe for more like engineering type stuff, which is also cool. And what is hidden behind my safe door? Ooh, pretty lights. Yes, these are amazing. I'm in love with these. These are new light options. They're called light panels. And they're basically LCD monitor sized light panels. And yeah, the back of it kind of looks like an LCD monitor. Not quite though. And they're basically lights. They are exactly configurable like lights. And I in a creative world, I used a lot of these as like ceiling lights because I feel they look pretty good as ceiling lights. Also, cool advantage if you want to put I actually kind of want to demonstrate this real quick because I do that a lot. A lot of times when I build vents in my facilities, I kind of want to hide my vents away because I always feel they look like not pretty is not the right word. They're not ugly. It just feels like unfinished if I see a vent out in the open. So instead of just putting a vent down like this, I would like to do is to put a catwalk in front of it because that still leaves the air through, right? And so normally, because I cannot just place a catwalk on this, what I normally have to do is I have to move this one block up, this vent, you know, put the vent up here, and that takes away a lot of space. Now, the cool thing is, if you put the vent like this, and then these light panels next to it, let's say it's in the center of a room, you know, big centerpiece with 4 lights. Boom, now you can actually put the grating on. It's pretty neat. It makes for a neat, like, room centerpiece. So I'm loving this. What I do not like about these is if you turn them off. Because, let me search for the light panel. There they are. You turn them off. If there's still light shining on them, they have the exact same color as they would normally. So I don't like that. I would prefer them to go black, so to speak, and then bright again. Actually, you can see it very well with the blinking one. Let's turn them on again. Yeah, the blinking one, you cannot really see that it's blinking other than the light emitted from it. But you wouldn't know. If you look like this, you wouldn't really know it's blinking. You know what I mean? It looks a bit irritating to me. But otherwise, I'm really in love with these light panels. Speaking of lights, there's another new light block that I really love. It's these bad boys. Searchlights. And let me actually make it dark real quick so you can appreciate them fully. Yeah. I used to have to do these by hand with rotors and hinges, which would take like 3 blocks at least. And now we have them just like that. And the cool thing about these, of course, is you can actually control them. You can control them like a camera/turret. It's pretty amazing. And of course you can then angle them wherever you want them to and then just disable random movement. Because otherwise they behave like a turret. And I think if you have like auto lock on, they will lock on onto ships and players. So they will track players and ships, which is almost a bit unfair if you're thinking about it, because when it comes to DLC content, I always feel like it shouldn't be a big advantage over to a normal player, and these bad boys, I have the feeling they give you a little bit of an advantage over a normal player, even if it's just like visual identification of a player, you know, when he's close by, that he gets illuminated. But that alone might be a thing, and I kind of feel these should be in the normal game too, honestly. One thing that you cannot do with them, which I find interesting, maybe that was because of balance reasons or maybe because it's too complicated, you cannot put any commandos or like a quick, like there's no quick bar to this. So you cannot have this camera looking at something and then, for example, oh, I see there's someone here, open the door with 1, for example. That doesn't work. Well, it kind of does, because you just saw it. If I go to the camera and then press 1, it switches to my other camera for some reason. So you can also see now on the number 4, there is a reactor that is on off. I press 5 and then 4. And now it's on. So it kind of uses your quick bar down there, but it hides it for some reason. Either display the bar down there as normal or give me a new quick bar for this. I would prefer a new one, honestly, because, for example, in one of my creative worlds, I had it set up in like a factory where I make ships, that I can have a good visual on the ship's production progress. I have a camera like this, and then I would like to have the control over my welders and rotors, but I cannot do that properly with this. So these searchlights are in a weird little state right now that I don't like too much, honestly. And these searchlights, they also come in tiny little small block form, which I really like. Pretty cool. What else is in this? There's a few more things here that I haven't talked about because they only come in small block. And that's mainly, let me go over here, these two. The four-frame Warfare Gatling gun, which is quite cool. I like this non-round design of the Gatling gun with these rectangular barrels. I do like that. That looks very cool. And then the rocket launcher with the shiny, weird tubes at the back. I do not like this one as much. Not quite sure why. It just doesn't fit my aesthetics real well, but I guess the more the merrier, right? But, yeah, you know, it is what it is. Also, the helm, of course, that's still there. Another thing that we have gotten here is the passenger bench. And that only comes in small block form, which is this thing. It's basically like a passenger seat. And if you hop on it, bloop. Now we go into camera. That's how it looks like. So it's just for one person. It kind of looks like it takes off 2 blocks, but it's just for one person. I think about the stand I've talked about. And then there's these two. These are the Warfare ion thrusters. So it's obviously small and large. And I actually have the big version outside. Let me make day again so you can actually see it properly. There we go. We have them outside here as well. So they're basically just armored up thrusters from the look of it. I do dig the look. I think for certain warships these will look quite nice, especially the small ones. Very compact, very beefy looking. Also a bit more rectangular, not round, because that's sometimes a problem that I have, that certain blocks really clash with a certain building style. If you go for a very blocky ship, then the normal round ion thrusters might look very weird. So these come in very handy in this form. Right, what else is in here? There's one new armor skin, which is this. This is the forest camo armor. I'm actually also, let's go outside again. There it is. Woodland camo it's called. I don't find it too spectacular. I think it works better with darker colors than with lighter ones. But maybe that's just me. But yeah, it's just another camo pattern. If we compare this to... which one do we have? We have the digital... which obviously is a bit more blocky. There's the digital one. And of course we have the bit more silly camouflage, which is also furry. But yeah, the woodland camo is a bit more seamless, a bit more elegant almost, with the round, nice blobby shapes to it. I think it's kind of lovely. Also new is a new helmet you get with the DLC. It's this beautiful little thing. It's, I think, called the shark helmet, I think. Can you see it properly? It has like a nice little eye on the side. And if we close our visor, it is kind of disappointing. I expected the teeth to come down. That would have been really cool, but unfortunately not. But it is kind of cool. It looks neat. There's also new emotes. If you are interested in those, they are... Where are they? There we go. Salute and rock, paper, scissors. Well, the salute is kind of clear, obviously. Hey, salute! Which makes sense with this more military looking pack. And then rock, paper, scissors. As far as I can tell, this is actually randomized, I believe. So every time you do this, it should do another one, or, well, not another one, it should be random. So you can actually do like a little mini game with your in-game people if you want to decide who's gonna fly today. Ah, rock beats scissor. Huh, nice. So that is kind of neat. I like that, but then again, I don't use emotes that much, really. Yeah, but that is, I think, pretty much all of it, I believe. Oh no, battery, yes. I forgot about talking about this. There's also a new warfare battery, which looks a bit more beefier, a bit more chunkier. It only has the display on one side, but it is kind of neat. Looks pretty. Oh yeah, and also, you might see it already here, but you can also see it out there. There's a new window block. This window block here. And it addresses a functional problem, which then again, I believe should put them into the main game, in my opinion. Basically, it's armor blocks with a bit of metal reinforcement at the top. You can see, and if you actually put them on something, you will see that they are in contrast to normal armor blocks, or rather normal window blocks, that is, they shouldn't run into problems with airtightness. Sometimes if you place certain window blocks, there's no airtightness. This should completely mitigate it, because there's a complete bit of armor here that should completely avoid that problem when you only have edges coming together. I don't know, maybe that should be in the main game. There's a little problem I have with this block for a aesthetic building purpose, because I kind of expected that the height of this part would perfectly fit into this height, but it doesn't. There's now a little yeah, you can see it doesn't fit. Ah, that really annoys me. Couldn't they just make this a little bit bigger? Or, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because then you could do so many more interesting designs with it. If you put it like this, you have this ugly edge here standing out. That is just not pretty. I wish they would change that, but then again, what can I do? I'm just one little dude. Let's just see if we didn't miss anything, because there was a lot in this DLC. I mean, a lot. I was kind of surprised how much there was. We talked about windows, light panels, reactors, gates, batteries, sliding doors, searchlights, vents, helms, thrusters. Yeah, we talked about everything. Good. Only problem I have, other than what I've already talked about, is with the gates, because to me, they're still not big enough. There should be bigger versions of every gate, like the normal ones, then double that size, and maybe 3 times that size. Because honestly, whenever I build a hangar, even if I put them back to back, like one from bottom, one from the top, it's still too small for my tastes. But hey, I mean, maybe in the future we can hope, right? We can dream. Yeah, but all in all, what a solid update, and also what a solid DLC. For me, the amount of stuff you get out of this DLC is insane. I mean, just if it was just the searchlights and the light panels, I would already be in, honestly. It would sting a bit for to give $4 essentially for these 2 items, but these 2 items alone make it up. And everything else, I mean, the heat vents are fantastic in my opinion. The new alternative skin of the reactors are kind of cool. The battery is cool. If you want to use the new weapons to differentiate ship looks, that's cool. The helm is interesting. The new thrusters. All in all, I think that was very much worthwhile waiting for, I would say. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the crazy stuff people can come up with. Also, I'm wondering if people will actually find out a good method to you know, use turrets on distant objects without this janky method of using like markers for targeting, because that was just off the top of my head, and I tried to use like different symbols for different ranges. It is a bit janky, but yeah. All in all, again, I'm super happy. I'm so stoked about the new guns, and yeah, I hope you guys all are also loving it and playing around with those amazing pieces of tech. And yeah, that's it for today. Next week we're gonna be back at our normal schedule again. Hopefully, maybe we can actually integrate some of these blocks into our ship as well. I mean, I have a few things that I have the feeling could make it onto the new ship, especially when it comes to weapon systems, you know? I might be tempted. I might be very tempted indeed. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and take care.